Alright, ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Hello and welcome to today's Grand Prix. We are here in Australia at the Great Albert Park Circuit. This 5.303 kilometer 16 turn street track located in the city of Melbourne, just next to Phillip Bay. The track was opened on March 7th, 1996 to the world of Formula One. Since then, this track has never stopped to disappoint us with some incredible moments from its past. Like in 2010 when Jenson Button pit early to put on the slick tires, while everyone else stuck to the wets. Later, Button took his McLaren to first place. Or in 2016 when Fernando Alonso and Esteban Gutierrez collided, resulting in Alonso having a horrific crash. Miraculously, Alonso was unharmed. Hopefully we don't see a crash like that one with any of our drivers today. Well, ladies and gentlemen, strap yourselves in as it is time for the Australian Grand Prix. I'm Broomhandle 914, joined today by my trusted colleague Jadaway. Jadaway, how do you see this race turning out for our talented drivers here today?
Well, I think we're going to be in for a Grand Prix that's a lot unexpected, or a lot more unexpected than we would have had about 10 minutes ago. Throughout qualifying, I've been watching our drivers here. There's been a lot of mistakes, especially in sectors 2 and 3. We've had a couple collisions already with some big names like McChicken and Where's My Dad, Cool Kids. Already out, McChicken, before he could even set a lap time. So, yeah, we got some really interesting stories heading into this race.
Yeah, we're definitely in for an exciting race here today at the Australian Grand Prix. McChicken out of this race, as you said. And so, very interesting. It looks like he collided with T-Bone. That was earlier before we started the broadcast. But it looks like he's out. So, the championship leader, 49 points ahead of McFuzzy, who won the last race in Bahrain 2 days ago. McChicken actually retired from that race. And so now the gap is slowly decreasing. But hopefully McChicken can pull back and hopefully win this race. Speaking of McChicken, maybe we can invite him to the chat. And so we can talk about what happened out there and hopefully what his strategy is for the race.
Yeah, we'll try and get him on the line as we speak. But I believe also the other collision was between either Brainkiller and Legion hitting Where's My Dad. I am not 100% sure. As we see Hard as Cotton take a sliding big hit into the outside wall, coming through the sweeping left, right in the middle sector there, or start of the third. So lucky he's able to continue still with 4 minutes 38 seconds to go in this qualifying session.
Yeah, it looks like he may have spun over at, what was that corner? Looks like turn 12. He spun that. You can lose the car quite often around that corner. It's very hard to keep the car controlled because you will spin eventually if you end up on the curve. And it looks like Hardest Cotton's actually having a hard time with some wing damage. Doing a little Vettel there as he goes into the grass of turn 15. He's into the pits. Hopefully he can repair that front wing and go out for his pole position lap.
Yeah, I'd say, you know, there's not many really difficult corners to get right. There's just, I'd say, 2 or 3 places where you can lose the car. You know, like really fast corners. So it's coming through sector 1. I believe that's turn 5. That right hand came for the end of sector 1, and then, like previously mentioned, that fast sweeping double or the chicane at the end of sector 2, beginning of sector 3. Like we saw just there, Hardest Cotton, you get one. It can do it big time. So let's hope that people, you know, stray away from that. A lot of overtaking opportunities. This is a really good track for side-by-side racing. So I think it's going to be a good one, especially with Chicken. So it's going to be a really exciting one out today.
Yeah, it really is going to be an interesting one. And I'm actually just watching Shadowbane starting his lap, getting a little interrupted there by one of the McLarens there. It looks like Solrak. So we're into a very interesting part of the championship now. Halfway into our championship order. This would be the start of the Grand Prix, but we're going backwards order, starting in Britain and then going all the way down to Germany at the Hockenheim Grand Prix. So we're going to it's a halfway part at the moment, and hopefully we'll see some interesting championship battles, and especially at this race. Like, this track has got some incredible overtaking spots down into turn 1, down into turn 2, turn 3, you can make a dive bomb there. So really awesome to make some overtake spots.
Yeah, that's right. I'd have to say turn 3 is probably most commonly used. But even right into the second and third sector, there's some really good opportunities to overtake, especially with that third DRS zone now put in play. That's really going to come in handy for people if they want to make a last lap pass. That's the place to do it, I'd say.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. We'll have to just wait and see if the drivers are bold enough to make that incredible overtake you're mentioning there. Hopefully McChicken can join us here as we round off qualifying with only 1 minute and 32 seconds to go. Looks like the pole position times, the drivers getting ready to start their pole position times. Right now, McFuzzy is on provisional pole position with a 1 minute 20.7. Very incredible lap time, I must say.
Yeah, I can tell you that I probably couldn't do that time. Yeah, this track is a really technical track. You got to make sure you hit your apexes, but stay away from the curbs on exit, or else you're gonna loop the car and into the wall. Not really good for your aerodynamics there. But I think we got a really big pack here within a couple tenths of each other. We got 12th to 9th, 8th. Right there, from 2.1 to 2.7 seconds. I think that's going to be a really nice pack to watch, as well as the gap between 4th and 7th. You know, Hardest Cotton, Potato, Cool Kids, Brain Killer. That pack come race time, that's going to be another exciting pack to watch, especially going down.
It really is going to be interesting to see what the drivers make a decision, if they can stay in these positions. That pack that you just mentioned there, Viper Tater, Brain Killer, and Hardest Cotton. Looks like we also have some new names here, Greg Jennings and Mad Nathan. Looks like they've joined the pack at the Australian Grand Prix. Hopefully they can put in some good showing here.
I've lost connection.
Having some technical difficulties there?
Yeah, I lost connection.
Maybe we can get T-Bone or someone to invite you. Speaking of T-Bone, he's done an incredible job to get this pack going here from the start. Got all these drivers to come here and race as we are here today. He started in Abu Dhabi, I think, and he just really put this pack together of all these drivers. So a really incredible job. Shout out to him for making this all happen, especially what's going on around the world.
Thank you. Cool Kids again coming in clutch. Unfortunately, I will not be streaming anymore. I just don't think oh wait, shoot, did I accidentally join input? No, I'll be alright, I think.
Hopefully there's no technical difficulties going on.
I didn't press spectate. I pressed ready up. So if it puts me in the in a car come race mode, then I'll just retire.
You might want to do that. Looks like McFuzzy's gotten pole position at the moment. Brainkiller's still on his lap at the moment. It looks like pole position goes to McFuzzy because the session has ended. Mad Nathan finished in second. That's incredible.
It was really good result for his first time out. I'd say, a lot of these guys are seasoned vets, and I haven't heard Nathan in a while, so good for him. Fried Potato jumps up to third, knocking Captain and Pedro down to fourth and fifth respectively. Where's my dad after retiring midway through the session due to a crash in the third sector? He's down to seventh, but I still believe he'll be happy with his time. Yeah,
very interesting grid that we have here. McFuzzy on pole position, the only one to go into the 1 minute 20s. The only one on mediums looks like is Legendary and Fireball. So very interesting to see this. T-Bone has a 5 position grid penalty, possibly with that collision with McChicken, but we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah.
Jadaway, well, let's talk about tire strategy around here. I think the strategy possibly for most of these drivers is to go to the softs and then go to the softs into another set of softs around lap 8 or so, and then move to the yellow striped tire of the mediums around lap 15 and go to the end of the race. But if you start in the mediums like Legendary and I think Fireball has, you should probably go to the hards maybe around lap 15, lap 12, or in between there. Just stick on those hards. Hopefully there's no safety cars. Maybe that's a good thing too, to back up the pack. So we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, I'd expect them to run either 2-stop or 1-stop, bearing in mind safety cars, whatever. But I'd say if you start on the softs in the top 10, you're going to have to come in earlier. So, you know, just, we got to be wary of. The tire circuit is pretty intense. I'm going to give you a little tour guide of the track real quick if you're going to spectate me. Into turn fast sweeper, especially when you get down there into regulations. And I've been disqualified. Great. Never mind.
So as the drivers start the formation laps, we should be able to keep going, and the race will start soon. Hopefully we don't have a race start like we did in 2002 with Ralph Schumacher going over his brother Michael Schumacher. And
that was Rubens, actually.
Oh, that was Rubens. Okay, I'm sorry about that. A little error from me there. But yeah, he did go over that Ferrari and just torpedoed himself up into the air and went into the gravel. So a very chaotic start at the start of the Australian Grand Prix that year.
Produces some fantastic action on the first lap, so I'm keen to see what we have here.
It really does. Hopefully we don't have that race where Ralph Schumacher did go over the top of Ruben Barrichello, because that would be very hard for the drivers to navigate. Probably some retirements.
Think back to many abreast going in the turn. They like to not all can fit into one corner, and sometimes you see Mark Webber causing an accident in 2009, knocking Barrichello and Ivy out of the Grand Prix. But and then 2008, I remember when Massa was trying to overtake Coulthard in the middle of the race, turn one, unfortunately tapped his right rear, sent him into the grass, broke the suspension on both sides of the car. So, it's a very, very, it's a corner where you have to give it a lot of respect, but it's a corner that, if you do get it right, you can gain a lot of time from.
Well, it definitely is something that we're going to have to be watching out for as the cars do form up. Hopefully we won't have any calamities into turn one. Just have to wait and see. Nick Fuzzy on pole position. Hopefully he can continue this and help his championship lead. It's about to go. Lights are out for the Australian Grand Prix, and away we go. Nick Fuzzy gets a great start. Looks like one of the McLarens had a problem. Jadaway's already out. He's commentating. It looks like 3 wide into turn one. That was incredible.
And they've made it out clean, which is the important thing. I don't see many people with a lot of confidence who come down to turn 3. They have to avoid hitting each other. Damage is not something you want coming into this race.
Looks like McChicken is already making up positions, already up to 11th position. Oh, and there's a spin by Alfa Romeo. It looks like it was Brain Killer. He spun.
Fried Potatoes gotten Nathan off the start. He's up in a second, followed by Nathan and Pedro, all behind the Fuzzy, who's claimed the lead. He's dipping his authority already.
What a start to this Grand Prix. Looks like no one's made any mistakes, except Brain Killer, a little bit spinning there. He should be good. Looks like McChicken's going to go for a move down the inside, round the inside on the Williams. It looks like he tucks back in. It looks like there's a Sector 3 spin. Oh! The Racing Point driver.
Nathan's got some damage as well. We got a virtual safety car. Nathan without a front wing. I'm not sure what happened right there. Zudi has gotten past Pedro. Where's my dad? A chicken. He's all the way up in the 5th. Greg Jett, it's a Haas 5-4 right now. We've got a virtual safety car out, as previously mentioned. Looks like Nathan is going to come into the pits.
Yeah, Nathan's going to have to come into the pits.
Pedro's coming into the pits for a front wing change, so maybe they had some contact coming into each other as well. I believe Kevwood is pitting. He's got no front wing.
It looks like Nathan started on the inter tires. That was... Oh, he's on the inter tires.
Why is Nathan on the inter tires?
Looks like he may have messed up, or that was a mechanical issue. You guys saw that.
Yeah,
it looks like they pit on the inners.
That's weird.
Very interesting. I've seen that happen when you're scrolling through the tires. You end up clicking the wrong button right before.
We're missing a bit of action here. Mufuzzy has been overtaken by Fried Potato, going for the lead. Mufuzzy trying to get it back, coming into Sector 3, the fast left-right chicane. Can he do anything? They're going to go side by side. No, Mufuzzy pulls out. Smart driving. He's going to try and get him on the exit.
Yeah, he's right behind him. Battle for the lead here. McFuzzy and Fried Potato. The teammates from last Grand Prix. McFuzzy just stays right behind him, though. And he's super close, though, to the back of Fried Potato. McChicken's already got past Zooty, it looks like. And Zooty and, Where's My Dad are going side by side.
Maybe slight contact coming through the final section there as McFuzzy trying to just stay in his slipstream. And now it is going to turn to DRS for the straight, I believe, now that it is enabled. As we come down the back stretch, only 4/10 behind. He does not have DRS yet, but he's going to be able to use it in Sector 3. Coming to Turn 3 here. Just trying to set up and take station behind him. See if he can find some of his weaknesses where he can get past.
Yeah, he's all the way so close to Fried Potato. But he's just a little too far back. He might have to wait for the DRS straight you were talking about, the third one of this Grand Prix, or actually the second one, not including the pit straight. Yeah, he's just right behind him. Looks like King Ducky and T-Bone are going side to side. It looks like T-Bone actually did lose the position of King Ducky and possibly Shadowbane at the moment.
Oh, there's contact, and Shadowbane is around into El Captain.
Oh, and Captain and Shadowbane made some contact there. Looks like Shadowbane and T-Bone made some contact. Looks like Captain just hit Shadowbane a tiny bit there.
I think T-Bone might not have left Shadow enough room there, unfortunately. We got McChicken trying to go around the outside of Greg Jennings there in the final sector.
Yeah, he's so close.
Off the track, and he has a little bit of front wing damage, as you can see, missing that front left end plate on the side. This Fried Potato sets the fast lap of the race at 25.5. Continuing to lead Mufuzzy here.
McChicken's all the way so close to Greg there. He's got the DRS. He's closing all the way up to the first DRS straight. Coming down into turn 3, possibly going for the move. Greg just blocks him off a tiny bit. McChicken has to go around the outside. Can he make the move? He's got the damage, but he does make the move. They're still side by side, though. Through turn 4, through turn 5 and 6. Very narrow part of the track. McChicken does it. Fried Potato goes off the track. Sorry, Greg.
Overtake.
And actually, Zooty's getting involved as well. Wow, that was phenomenal.
That was a fantastic overtake, especially from a driver like McChicken. You should expect him to put on shows like that every race he competes in. He's a true racer, and I'll tell you what, he's one of the best I've ever competed against.
Yeah, he's already up to 4th, so incredible performance by him so far.
Got Mufuzzy trying to find a way past Fried Potato here, but doesn't look like he's able to do it coming into the final sector. He's going to have to tuck and wait. And this is the stage of the Grand Prix where you're kind of just settling in, finding a rhythm, try to see out your strategy, pick off places when you can, but stay smooth and consistent to where you're keeping up pace and can do a lot with it. Mad Nathan has dropped from starting second, has now had to pit twice due to making a mistake putting on the inter tires. He's probably going to try and take those hards to the end, but now he's in danger of getting lapped here.
And I have to cut you off real quick. McFuzzy's going to go round the outside, possibly on Fried Potato, but he's just too far back. McFuzzy gets so close to Fried Potato, but he's just a slight bit just too far away from the Williams driver. So can't
Yeah,
make the
that's the
move
thing
yet.
about this track. You have to be so committed when you overtake. You have to be you have to know that you're either going to get the move done or you're not. And that's why you have to wait for such a crucial time. You saw it with me.
And Cool Kid's into the wall. I'm sorry to interrupt you there. Looks like he lost it coming into turn 7. Oh, I'm sorry to interrupt you there, but yeah. I'm sorry, not turn 7, turn 6.
That he has no front right end plate, which is going to force him probably to pit. As you see, Mufuzzi's still trying on Fried Potato. You see, he loses it a little bit of the back end coming out of right-hander right there. Yeah.
And the Renaults are running 2nd and 3rd at the moment. Hardest Cotton, McFuzzy's teammate, in 3rd position.
He's been extremely strong this entire year.
He really has. And you know what? For the team strategy right now, honestly, if I were the Renault team boss of Cyril Unbeatable, I'd tell Hardest Cotton to try and hold up McChicken to give McFuzzy that gap for the championship.
I mean, that'd be the smart move. No idea if Hard is going to be talking to Mufuzzy about that, or Mufuzzy's got his own mind focused on trying to get past Tater here. But you know, defending from Chicken is no easy task. It's a pretty tall one. In fact, did this very track, the F2 cars earlier this season. McChicken kept me honest the entire race. Went for overtakes. And to be honest, I don't know how I held him off earlier in the season. I was quite surprised, honestly. But I mean, he's just such a creative overtaker. He's so confident in the way he drives the car. I mean, he's really got no flaws, as it looks like. Mufuzzy and Potato have had some contact. Mufuzzy, Potato now around. Missing front left end plate. He might have to pit here, and it looks like he is going to. That leaves Mufuzzy in the lead. Wow.
I wasn't sure if McFuzzy and Fried Potato made some contact. Did they?
McChicken pits behind them. I'm sorry.
Did they make some contact, Fried Potato and McFuzzy?
It's very likely that they did. I mean, it's coming through the double right-hander there in the 3rd sector, and Mufuzzy was going hard at it, lap after lap, just trying anything to get past him. So I'd assume Tater either lost it on the exit and spun into the inside wall, or Mufuzzy went around the outside and then got into him on the exit, tapped him round, sent him into the inside barrier.
Oh, but and Legendary. I'm sorry to interrupt you there, but Legendary just spun in turn 1. 18th. Looks like he might retire, actually. He's got a lot of damage. If he can hold this off, though, he should be able to... Oh, and he makes contact!
He's taking out Cool Kids! Oh.
Yeah, he tapped him there. Cool Kid's now got more damage. He had some damage before. Oh, and that's...
Legendary God's off after him.
Oh, that was very hard. Cool Kid just pit for a new front wing, and now he's got to pit again.
Yeah, Cool Kids. King Ducky and Zooty going at it in the final sector here. With the collision with Tater out of the way, as now Hardest Cotton pitting, that left us with the Renault 1-2 and a Haas 3-4, however that's going to change because Cotton's pitting. Cotton is pitting onto the, looks to be the hard tires, and so he's going to be looking to try and do the one-stop. Chicken is on the soft, so you know he's probably not going to try and take this to the end. He's looking at a 2-stop. Tater is on a 1-stop. Cotton is going to come out ahead of Tater. He's going to jump Tater from that.
Very interesting. Looks like it's probably the contact that Fried Potato and McFuzzy had that dropped Fried Potato quite down the line. I'm looking at the battle right now between 5th and 6th with Fireball and T-Bone.
Had to pit again. I'm sorry, McChicken's had to pit again. He had foot wing damage somewhere, and that's going to leave him right down at the back with Where's My Dad, as he's pitting again as well. Legendary God is pitting.
Yeah, it looks like McChicken's on the medium tires, so possibly going for that two-stop, the mediums to the softs. But we'll just have to wait and see.
As McFuzzy pits here. Captain sets a 25-0 for the fastest lap from 16th place, so he has no points, taking away points from the top 10 as of right now.
And the leader into the pits
is putting on the hards, going on a one stop as well. So both of the Renaults going on one stops.
I think this is going to leave the two Haas's in first and second. That's interesting.
Ducky in third as well. So yeah. So that looks like he's going to comfortably come out in front of his teammate.
And McFuzzy will come out. And King Ducky looked like he was going to get past Zudi. Just falling back a little bit. McFuzzy's probably going to catch him up quite soon, though. He's got those newer hard tires. So the leader on possibly a one-stop. I mean, like, 20 laps to go of this race. I'd say he could do it. What do you think?
Yeah, I believe so. He's got the technical ability. I mean, anything can happen in this race. We got Legendary God retiring from the session. We have another VSC. Like I said, anything can happen.
We've had two VSCs in this race. Yeah, it looks like Legendary God was just way too far back. Not exactly sure what he was. He made some contact with another car. It looks like I think it was Cool Kid, and that's what forced Cool Kid into making that second pit stop for new front wing. And Legendary God did spin a few times, so that's probably why he retired. Just too much damage on the car.
As Nathan and Jennings are going to take advantage of this. Nathan pits onto the hards. Jennings gets a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. That's unfortunate. He's going to pit onto the mediums, take a new front wing and try and go to the end. King Ducky gets onto the softs, so it looks like he's going to try for a two-stop. But Greg is going to go to the end, and he got helped out a lot by this VSC. So he's going to come out a lot higher than he would have if there wouldn't have been a VSC.
And King Ducky as well. King Ducky in 7th now on those medium tires. Looks like new mediums. I think he pit as well with Greg. So it's really helped those two out, this VSC.
Ducky started way back in 17th. He's up 10 positions. If it wasn't for T-Bone and Fireball not pitting yet, he would be our biggest mover in the race. He's going to the end, and he's already gained 10 spots.
Looks like there's going to be a battle for the lead. Zudi on worn tires at the moment. McFuzzy on new hards is right up the back of Zudi.
No contest, really.
Yeah, you're absolutely correct. No contest. No contest because McFuzzy's just going to sail right past Zudi on those fresher fresher hard tires. And I think Zudi is going for the strategy from the softs to the hards because he's lasting those tires quite a lot. He's still out there, so very interesting call by Zudi.
Yeah, but then you have to take into counter that Brainkiller has retired. Oh, you know what? He spun it in the fast chicane, spun it into the inside wall and sent to
in the safety car. So the full safety car.
T-Bone is gonna. He's the biggest winner.
Yeah, that really helped out T-Bone.
Right, he's got to go play the lottery right now because the safety car came out when he was in the pit lane. He is not going to lose more than 2 or 3 spots. Brainkiller leaves, and I mean T-Bone pitted, and I want to say 7th, 8th, or 9th, and is going to come out in 9th. So.
Yeah, he's come out in 9th, so very interesting. I think he could be in for a podium, honestly. I mean, the top 8, Pedro's going to have to pit, and Fireball's going to have to pit, and I'm sure some other drivers up there are going to have to pit, because, like, Zudi's going to have to pit.
We got a really good recovery from Tater right now. He's all the way back up to 5th, and it's going to be a net 3rd when Fireball and Zudi pit. King Ducky is, I doubt he's going to be able to go to the end on those softs. Jennings going to the end, Pedro going to the end, T-Bone going to the end. Crazy Mike, I don't know if he's going to the end, but we have if you're on the mediums right now, or in this case for Zudi on the soft still, which he's pitting, you have to come in and pit under the safety car, put on some hards like everybody else and go to the end. I mean, that is probably the best strategy.
I mean, King Ducky's on the mediums, and he's on new mediums because he just pit for those. So, I mean, he should be able to continue, but he's into the pits. And I think it's also because he has damage, so possibly taking the strategy of going to the hards. Not exactly sure yet.
He does have damage, and he's going to fix that front nose right now.
And it looks like he's going on softs. Very interesting strategy. Maybe going for a two-stop.
Well, we got this lull in the action. It's fair that we can bring in our esteemed colleague, McChicken. McChicken, are you there?
Yeah, I am here.
Oh.
McChicken, how's your race been going so far? You started from the very back after that collision with T-Bone. Already up to 12th. Looks like you made a pit stop. And you were 4th, so I mean, incredible drive so far.
The best. Because I was going around, I was looking for overtakes around some drivers, and they really didn't go about it really safely. They forced me off the track, they forced me into the wall, so I was just bit by bit losing my wing constantly. And then up to the first pit stop I had an orange wing.
And did you pit to change that wing, or are you still on the... You still have damage?
I pitted to change that wing, so I went onto the mediums. I was going to go to the end, and then I went for an overtake on Pedro, or he went an overtake on me actually, down into turn 3 I believe. And yeah, I gave him plenty of space and he just forced me off the track, broke my wing. So then because of that I understeered into another wall, broke my wing, so I had to pit right after again.
Yeah, it looks like you made some contact with Pedro, and he's your teammate as well, so very interesting. Maybe some stewards, maybe you can look at that.
It looks like you got some wing damage as well right now after you pit. Do you know how you got that, or?
I don't know, my analog stick just stopped working all of a sudden. Just
so you can come into the pit stop like that.
Sometimes that can happen with controllers. I mean, a race I was in quite recently, my brakes failed for a second, and then it's just some sort of technical difficulty. I think actually both of you were in that race, so...
Yeah, but the races are not over. I can still make up a lot of positions. I mean, that's how I used to be, you know, 5 lappers starting at the back, I could win. That's how
So do you intend to take those softs all the way to the end?
The mediums? I'm on the mediums right now. And
yeah, it looks like he's on the mediums.
To the end, yeah.
What?
Like, in these 50%ers, honestly, I'm not sure why people go from soft to hards, because the mediums can last pretty easily. Right to the end. So...
Well, it looks like you are on the mediums at the moment, so you should be able to take those into the end. And also, have you thought about the championship fight right now with McFuzzy? He's in first position. Are you going to be going after him, trying to recall some points because you retired from the last race? He won the last race. You're still 49 points ahead of McFuzzy in the championship. Are you having any strategy from that?
I'm not particularly concerned about the championship right now, because I'm sure the fight's already over. It was over last race, or the 2 races ago. So I'm just here to have fun now.
Yep, that really is all it's about, especially what's going on in the world. We're all here to have fun, and what fun we are having. I think it's like we've got some great racing already starting out, or already on lap 13, and yeah. So, well, thank you for thank you for being here, McChicken. That's the word I'm looking for. And good luck for the race.
Thank you.
Well, that was McChicken giving some great insight on his race and maybe some Stewart options. Looks like he's fine right now on the medium tires, going to the end with a new front wing, so he should be able to fight for some awesome positions.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, like you said, I think he's very confident in his ability to take those mediums to the end. So, yeah, he's going to be a definite big factor as we go to just crossing halfway now. And it looks like a lot of people, I think most people, are going to the end, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I don't think anybody else has any other plans to pit. So everybody's either done between 1 and 3 stops. So.
And right now, the two Renaults are running first and second. Very interesting. Glad to see them doing that. So maybe they'll be getting some good points.
4-5, that's really good for them.
Yeah, both those teams are going to be looking for some good points here today. Renault fighting Ferrari for the championship. I think they're just a few points off of Ferrari, maybe even ahead. I haven't checked the Constructors' Championship, but I'm pretty sure they have been fighting Ferrari, and they're so close. So a 1-2 would just be, I'd say, the best point for both of them, both the Renault drivers, to get some good points.
Actually, I take that back. King Ducky is on the softs, and I'm not sure if he wants to take those to the end. It's going to be a really big challenge, so that'd be interesting to see.
The safety car is in this lap. McFuzzy will be backing up the field and getting ready for the lights to go green once again on the safety car restart. Hopefully we have no crashes for the rest of the race. Hopefully no 2016 Alonso crashes to Gutierrez.
Yeah. I mean, again, that braking zone into turn 3, that can be deadly at times, so, yeah.
It really can. We just have to wait and see, though. Hopefully we'll get an awesome start and some incredible racing. Like McChicken said, he's going to be plowing through these cars. I'm expecting he will. Hopefully get some good points here today. As McFuzzy goes green, he's got a great start. The two Renaults have a great start. Looks like Zudi's going to be going on Fried Potato for 3rd position at the moment. Oh, he's just a little too far back to make a move. And Fireball right next to Pedro, not Solrak. But he's just a little bit too far back. He gets a nice power advantage off of turn 3, but just a little too far back to make that move. Looks like McChicken's making a move on Kevwood. Ooh, makes a little bit of contact, but he's got the move done. Impressive.
Yeah, I think a couple of things to say here is, where's my dad? Medium, 7 laps. Hardest cotton hard, 7 laps. We know that Pedro on a 13-lap-old hards. Can they take those tires to the end? Is the question. You know,
I'm sorry to interrupt you there. Pedro's off and he's out of the race. He's spun. He made some contact with Fireballs. Watching that. Oh, and the virtual safety car is out. I'm sorry to interrupt you there, but Pedro spinning off at turn 12. And it looks like he made some contact with Fireball into turn 11. That caused him to go wide, caused Fireball to go wide. So I think that was probably a racing incident, just because there was not really much room to go side by side through turn 11. But Pedro, in the other Ferrari, is out.
Yeah, it's going to be really unfortunate for him. He's going to be kicking himself. But that's another free position for everybody else behind him. Now we already have McChicken is only 2 positions away from points, 3 positions away from points. Same with Where's My Dad? He's on a big comeback run. Nathan is still in this thing. He's only 15th out of 16 right now. But after being dead last and almost lapped, I'd say he likes his position a little bit better. As Solrak gets around T-Bone, McFuzzy extending his gap now to 2 seconds over his teammate.
Yeah, looks like T-Bone went a little off into the grass there. That caused Solrak to make the move on T-Bone. Looks like Crazy Mike was going to go for the move, but just was a little too far back or something. And the two Mercedes. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say it's gonna be really interesting to see this battle right here. Oh, Shadowbane out.
Oh, and
Oh,
Nathan.
he's collided with Nathan. Nathan is out as well.
Nathan and Shadowbane made some contact, it looks like. Oh, that's
Hard
gonna hurt them a lot.
Safety car again is out. Zudi into the pit lane. And I can
Smart
tell you,
move.
he's probably gonna pit, a lot of these people are gonna probably pit Fried Potato into the pit lane.
Yeah, almost
So many
top
people
5
in
to
the pit
top
lane.
10.
Big Ducky McChicken is gonna move up all these spots. McChicken's already back up in the 5th because of all these people pitting. They're gonna pit onto Zudi's onto the mediums.
Fried Potato
Taylor's
onto
changing
mediums.
his nose. He's onto the mediums.
Wow, some
Sorak mediums.
tons of
Duffy's
position
going onto the
changes.
softs.
Tons of position changes right now as the pack all pits. It was a smart move to pit anyway. I mean, like, those tires are probably around 20%, and so it's probably the best strategy to pit. The leaders actually are still out. The top 3 are still out. McChicken's still out. Fireball is still out. So very interesting.
This has put McChicken, in my opinion, in a prime spot. Yes, Mufuzzi's had extreme pace all day, but the damage control is now to see. McChicken is still in to win this, really. I mean, we know what kind of driver he is, how seriously he takes this, the caliber that he races at, and he's on softer, fresher tires than the leaders. I don't think it's going to be too long before we see McChicken in first place spot.
He definitely is in it on those tires. I mean, they all are. 2 Renaults do lead at the moment, so Hardest Cotton could be doing that strategy of holding up McChicken, but we'll have to wait and see. So hopefully you are right, McChicken will be making up those positions. And I think it's time we take a little commercial break while the safety car is out. We'll be back in less than a minute to continue this fantastic race. You cool with that? Cool. Hello and welcome back to the Australian Grand Prix. We are about to go green for the second safety car restart. McFuzzy has already got the field underway. Jetaway, what are you expecting from the safety car restart? Any overtaking done from any of these incredible drivers?
What we're going to have to wait and see is we already have McChicken on the back of Fireball and past Fireball before turn 1, I believe. He's already up into 4th with only 3 places to go before he's in the lead.
And Greg already making a move on the second Renault of Hardest Cotton, possibly going around the outside. No, and King Ducky has been disqualified. Very interesting. Not exactly sure what that was all about.
Yeah, like I said previous, I mean, McChicken right now is a man on a mission. He's going to complete that mission. He's a 10th behind Greg Jennings coming into this second sector, and I mean, he's going to stop at nothing to get this win today.
He really is on those he's on those medium tires, with those are very fresh, and he looks like he's going to go for a move down into turn 11, going side by side. You're absolutely correct. A man on a mission right now. McChicken coming into turn 12. Oh, and a little bit, possibly going for a spin there, but he's kept the car in a straight line. Fireball possibly making a move. McChicken is still here. What an incredible performance by our driver, especially like Kevlin right now in 7th position for Racing Point. He was kind of in the back for a little bit of the race, but now he's up to 7th and really showing that he's in the fight. And where's my dad, Cool Kid? He's in 6th position at the moment after having 2 of and looks like the Haas had some grass time.
Is up into 3rd. He's up into 3rd. McChicken is up into 3rd.
He is up into 3rd. Looks like Greg and McChicken maybe made some contact. Greg was off in the grass a little bit. But yeah, Cool Kid, he's up to 6th position at the moment. And like with those 2 problems with those front wing changes that you had with those 2 different drivers hitting him, I can't remember which exact drivers, but he's already up to 6, so well done to him. The safety car really benefited him a lot.
Yeah, no, the safety cars benefited basically everybody that pitted. I mean, biggest winner though for me. I mean, if you pitted right before, like McChicken did, you're in a golden position. He's got fresh tires that are gonna go to the end, and softer tires than the leaders as well. So as we come here, he's already on the back of Hardest Cotton.
Always.
It's not smart to go through there, but I mean, it's going to be tough to see if he can get to Mafuzzy, but I don't doubt that he has the ability to get there.
Well, right now he's making a move on Hardest Cotton. Looks like there's a yellow flag in sector 3. Not sure where, but McChicken he doesn't know a DRS at the moment. It's only 2 laps in, but McChicken going round the outside. Incredible.
Dips a wheel in the grass, does it around the outside of turns 1 and 2. That is a fantastic overtake from McChicken. Now he's only got 1 place to go before he's achieved his goal.
So we're seeing a nice view of Greg Jennings' Haas. Looks like he had a 5-second penalty actually caused by him possibly making some contact with Hardest Cotton during the safety car restart. I think he does have a 5-second penalty though. Not exactly sure when that comes into play, but he does have it.
McChicken is already gapped in a half a lap, 1.3 seconds to Hardest Cotton. The gap to Mafuzzy stayed steady at around 4 seconds, but just early days in this.
Oh, and it looks like Kevlin's off into the grass, maybe going for another spin. Not sure exactly what happened, but the man that was running in 7th position is down to 12th. Looks like he made some contact either with some drivers or the barrier, because he has a less amount of wing on his car. He may have to pit. And looks like T-Bone's into the pits as well, so he maybe the 2 Racing Points made some contact, not sure. Kevwood stays out though.
T-Bone into the pits, and this is for a new front wing, so maybe they did come into contact.
They possibly might have. Oh, and Kevwood's out of the race. Maybe just had too much
It hasn't been a good 2 laps for the Racing Points, has it?
Not really has, but I mean the race is not over. Kevwood is out of the session. Looks like he just had too much damage on the car. But T-Bone up to 12th. And what an interesting pack we have right now. We have a lot of drivers out.
Yeah, we got 8 drivers out.
8 drivers out, including yourself, but technically 7.
7, excuse me.
But quite a lot of drivers. Only 12 drivers in this race, so interesting to see this. But the race is not over. Looks like we have 7 laps left, maybe 6 of this race. No real battles going on at the moment. Oh, and the Haas.
Greg Jennings off.
Oh, he missed the Williams.
Slam into Where's My Dad? Where's My Dad? This seemed to be everyone's pick to just crash into this race. I feel kind of bad for him. He's going to get passed by his teammate Potato here for what is 5th place. He
really has had a lot of damage going on. Oh, and the Red Bull goes a little bit off. It looks like Captain E. Cannon might have gone off a little bit into the grass. He's back on though.
T-Bone, Solrak, and Greg Jennings are probably going to have to duke it out for the final 6 laps of this race for the final point. And they're all very fresh, actually, soft. So Greg is going to come out right behind him. Solrak has the oldest laps on tires, which is 2. T-Bone has 1 lap old. That's going to be an interesting battle for the final points paying position, and we don't even know if they have penalties or not.
Those 3 are going to be going for that last point of this race, so it's going to be an interesting battle going forward. Oh, it looks like Captain and Zudi are going to go side by side, possibly. Oh, and Zudi a little bit blocks him off there. Wasn't sure if they're going to make a move. Captain goes down the inside on Zudi, still side by side. Very impressive. Looks like Captain did get the move on Zudi in the Haas, so very impressive by Captain. But Zudi's going to have the DRS on Captain E. Cannon through the pit straight. It looks like Zudi's actually a little too far back to possibly make a move. Maybe a move into turn 3 might be more beneficial.
We got Fireball really pressing hardest caught here for this final podium spot. We got 5 laps to go, and hardest caught on the oldest tires in the circuit, 16 laps old. And not very terrible for the hards, but Fireball's got fresher mediums and is ready to pounce on any mistake that Cotton gives.
And Fireball's on the medium tire, which is a lot more grippier than the harder tire. So if you say that Fireball has newer tires, he's definitely going to have a chance of going for that final podium slot. So honestly, that would be a great result for the Toro Rosso driver to get into the podium. I think this would be his first podium of the season, so it would be a great result. Gentlemen, let's talk about driver of the day with only 5 laps remaining. Who do you say is your driver of the day so far?
There's a lot of driver. I mean, like, Mufuzzy has driven flawlessly the entire day. Captain's left the session. That's going to promote 2 drivers in that battle for the last podium. So they're going to have... His captain lost his front wing, excuse me. I'm sorry. So that's why he probably just rage quit.
Yeah, we saw a yellow sector in Sector 3, so maybe getting some damage there with Captain.
It's hard not to give it to Mufuzzy, but then again, you know, McChicken has been last multiple times, down and out, one could say, and now he's chasing him. What was 4 seconds is now down to 2. He's got hardest caught by 9 seconds in only a couple laps. For me, it's hard not to give it to McChicken.
I have to agree with you there. McChicken really does have my driver of the day. After having a lot of contact that he said that with some other drivers and switching on to the mediums later on in the safety car, really beneficial to his strategy here. But the 2 championship contenders, McChicken and McFuzzy, hopefully are going to be going at it, but he has my driver of the day at the moment.
I mean, we can't really ask for much more of a better finish than this. You know, can McChicken hunt down the leader of the race, and now what is going to be coming to 4 laps to go? in this beautiful Albert Park street circuit. And I'd have to say, I'm on the edge of my seat, ready for anything to happen.
I absolutely am the same way as you right now. I mean, what could we hope for but a better end to this race? With only 3 laps to go, a race win battle is happening right now.
You have multiple battles throughout the track as well. Hardest Cotton is in a little bit of a... he's in a defense mode here as those tires begin to seriously wear. He's got Fireball and Fried Potato coming right up his chuff. You got Zudi and Where's My Dad evenly spread. Crazy Mike's back there. And then you got Solrak, Greg Jennings, and T-Bone battling for 9th, 10th, and 11th. So this is getting really interesting really fast as the Fuzzy and McChicken, their gap is staying relatively the same so far. But they're both gapping Hardest Cotton by a long way.
And there really is some incredible battles right now. I'm actually watching Fireball, Hardest Cotton, and Fried Potato going for the final podium spot at the moment. They're all trying. Oh, and Hardest Cotton and Fireball making some contact. Oh, it looks like Hardest Cotton may have squeezed Fireball into the wall. That promotes Fried Potato into 3rd position. Oh, that looks to be...
Cotton's got some front wing damage. That's not going to help him at all, especially with the old tires. He's going to have to hold on to, for dear life, trying to hold on to 4th place here.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw that or not, but that was an incredible lift. I think Hardest Cotton might have lifted up Fireball. Maybe Fireball going over the tire of Hardest Cotton. That was an incredible...
Fireball has more damage than Hardest Cotton. Fried Potato getting out relatively unscathed in that bit and that big winner there. And I don't think he has any damage whatsoever and is into 3rd place.
Yeah, it really benefited Fried Potato, that collision with Fireball and Hardest Cotton, but not exactly sure if that was a racing incident or something to look into with the stewards. I mean, it's probably something to look into just in case. I wasn't sure exactly what happened with Fireball and Hardest Cotton, but it looks like Hardest Cotton may have pushed Fireball into the wall. Maybe he just didn't see him in his rear view mirror, but anyway, it did happen. And actually, Zudi is actually closing in on Fireball. So, very interesting. Fireball does have some damage. So, Zudi is probably going to be chasing after that Toro Rosso quite soon. And actually, he's right next to
Zudi's
Fireball.
2 tenths behind him. I think, Fireball's going defensive into the fast left right. He's going to have to slow down a lot because of this front wing. We only got about 2 laps to go. Coming onto the front stretch, it is 1.5 seconds separating the front 2 here. Things are getting really exciting. Big Chicken sets the fastest lap of the race at a 24.2.
And that was only 1/10 off of the fastest ever lap around here, set by Michael Schumacher with a 1:24.1. And actually, Fried Potato's broken that. He's broken that. I mean, it's only a virtual Grand Prix, but still, he has broken the official lap record by Michael Schumacher. And Fireball into the pits.
Fireball has to pit. That's unfortunate. He was running for a podium place. Now he's going to have to be down to possibly 9th. Depends on where he comes out.
This is very interesting.
Mufuzzy is just mending that gap. He's hit the wall. Mufuzzy hits the wall slightly coming out of in the middle sector there. I think that's out of 10. Excuse me. He dips a wheel in the grass, but he's okay, and he's actually extended his gap now to 1.8 seconds.
McChicken is closing the gap, though. He's now 1.9 seconds, so McFuzzy actually leading that gap away, but McChicken's actually closing in, too. So this is going to be a very interesting battle. I don't know if it's going to happen, though, as we start the final lap of the race, but McChicken's getting ever so close. Only 3 DRS sections left to go. Can McChicken close the gap to his championship rival, McFuzzy?
Gap now back to 1.8 seconds, so it's going to be a really tall task. I mean, he has a really, really good opportunity if he makes up a lot of time in the middle sector. But Mufuzzy, a very consistent driver. I just don't see him making any mistakes this last lap, but I don't want to put my commentator's curse on it.
You never know what could happen. I mean, like, last race we had Fried Potato, who was in the Renault then. He actually collided with the wall at the Bahrain Grand Prix. He was leading the race. On the final lap of the race, he lost the lead. And McFuzzy won the race, which was probably something that he was probably quite thrilled, but Fried Potato, really, that was probably hard for him to lose the lead on the final lap.
In this situation, you also might have to feel for Fireball. He dropped out of the points due to that collision. I feel very, very bad for him. He could have been on for a podium. He's now down in 11th.
Yeah, and looks like he's just a little too far back to make the move on T-Bone. Only one DRS straight left to go for Fireball. As McFuzzy rounds the last two corners. Oh, and Fried Potato's out. Fried Potato. Oh, he's hit the wall.
He's hit.
McFuzzy wins the race, and it's a 1-3 for Renault because Hardest Cotton's moved up into third. McFuzzy, it's a back-to-back victories for Renault here at Albert Park Circuit. But what a hard way to end a race for Fried Potato. Last race, we were just talking about it, crashed from first. Fried Potato on the last lap. Yep, crashed from third today. That must be so hard for him.
You know, you feel really bad for him. Zudi up to fourth. Where's my dad in fifth? Crazy Mike sixth. Greg Jennings is going to win the battle for what originally was 10th place is now going to be for 7th place. He's going to come home 7th. Solrak 8th. T-Bone 9th. That's going to promote Fireball up to 10th. Can he get him on the line? Greg Jennings is going to fall a bit because of his unserved penalty.
Oh, and T-Bone and Fireball almost were in a battle and possibly swapping positions.
Finished 10th though because I believe he did have a penalty.
What a race we've had today. That was just incredible. What do you think?
Fantastic race, and I'm exhausted from it. I'd say, you know, McFuzzy drove impeccably, no mistakes whatsoever. McChicken, driver of the day, driver of the season. He did so well today to recover from, numerous incidents. You know, just shows what quality that man brings to the track every race.
And that's just our opinion of McChicken for Drive of the Day. You go vote down in the comments below. Subscribe to the channel if you liked this video. Please like the video, really helps us out. And if you want to see more, we'll be back for Abu Dhabi in 2 days' time. Thank you so much for watching. Jadwe, do you have any last words before we round off this stream?
We'll see you in Abu Dhabi, and safe travels until then.
Alright, thank you so much for watching. Have a great day. Thank you.